today I'm so excited because we are at Bustani Plant Farm, and many of you I know come here quite often in the springtime, and I'm so excited to be joined by Steve Owens. Obviously, I think a lot of our fans and viewers know you. After leaving the show Oklahoma Gardening, though, you came out here and started your own nursery at Bustani Plant Farm. So thanks for having us here.
Oh, welcome. Yeah. Thanks for coming out. It's good to be back working with Oklahoma Gardening a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I know how many people come in spring. We all get your plant catalog. We all get Bustani fever to come out here and see and buy in the springtime. But I think sometimes people miss what there is in the fall. So that's why one of the reasons I wanted to come here specifically.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
in the springtime, we have a lot of variety of plants for sale. There's not a whole lot to see in the garden, but in the fall, it's just the opposite.
Yeah.
There's not a big variety of plants for sale, but it's a really good time to see the display gardens. And you know, we always want to have something for everybody to see. You know, if it's your first time, if you come several times, we want to have something new every year.
And you always have new plants for sale, but also the gardens are always changing, and that's one of the things that drew me out here. I know, well, you can tell us a little bit about some of the projects you've done previously over the years.
Yeah. A few years back, we added a rock garden. That's kind of a passion of mine, just gardening with rocks and plants and creating those little mountaintop gardens. But every year we also try to do like maybe a new display with different types of foliage or some other artwork. We did an entryway structure with the old rusty tin with lots of vines growing up on it. But last year, one of the cool new things we did is the garden you're standing in.
Yes.
This we call our Wattle fence garden, W-A-T-T-L-E.
Yeah, so it kind of has the English cottage feel to it for me. So can you tell me a little bit about how you constructed this?
Sure. I've always been fascinated with these. I saw my first wattle structure, I guess, at the Chelsea Flower Show several years ago. And we actually, back in 1996, 25 years ago, the very first time I was on Oklahoma Gardening as garden manager, former host Sue Gray and I were constructing a small wattle fence. So they've always been kind of special to me.
We might have to find that footage and do a little throwback.
Absolutely, that'll be interesting. But yeah, we just wanted to do a few wattle structures in this garden, and basically with the wattle fence, it's just twigs woven between stakes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the construction. Obviously, it looks like your stakes are larger branches that you drove down into the ground. Is that what you do first?
Well, yeah, we did the design. We strung out string on the corners, and then actually the corner posts here, you can see they're a little bit larger in diameter than these stakes. We dug these holes with post hole diggers. Okay. And we got some nice straight sticks, and we set them in place and we tamped those in. Now these other smaller stakes, they're like 15, 16 inches apart. Those we sharpened those with a hatchet, just kind of like sharpening a big pencil, you know. And then we put our string back up, and then we tried to drive those as straight as we could into the ground.
Okay, and that's before weaving anything, right?
Absolutely, so you get all the stakes in place.
Okay.
And then you go about searching for the material, and it takes a lot of material. We're lucky. We have a forested area here on our property, so we could go out and select different species of young saplings.
So
and things like that.
That's what I was going to ask. I know a lot of times people will use willow or something that has a little more give to it. Did you find any particular type of wood works better, and does it need to be like wet wood, green wood, you know, like?
Good question. It's all types of wood.
Okay.
The main criteria for us was what was available and what was
That's important.
what was narrow and not crooked. The straighter the saplings, the easier it is to get them to weave into place. But there's stuff in here like rough leaf dogwood. There's hackberry. There's elm. There's some native grapevine.
I was going to say it looks a little.
Yeah, just basically whatever we could find.
Which all just adds texture, right?
Yes, the different textures of the bark and things like that. And we tried to use it within about 2 days. That way it was still green and pliable. Okay. Because if it sits for a while and gets dry, when you're trying to bend it in between weaving it basically back and forth between the stakes, it could snap.
Starts to get brittle.
Yeah,
okay.
but the straighter the better.
Well, it looks great. It's a nice detail to the garden, and it's sort of a raised bed within a raised bed. Tell us a little bit. It looks like you might have some landscape fabric holding some soil in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is kind of a raised bed on top of a raised bed here in our gardens. I'm a firm believer in raised beds, creating your own soil. But we did want to raise the soil level inside the wattles. And to keep the soil from spilling through, we did put down like a double layer of landscape fabric.
Okay.
And then we just added some compost and soil behind that. And the plants are really loving it.
So Steve, I mean, it's a beautiful addition to your garden, and it sounds like something a homeowner could do. What is the maintenance, and how long are you going to plan to keep this in the garden?
A homeowner could absolutely do this. Now, we are hoping to get 3 seasons out of it.
Okay.
Anytime you have the soil up against it, you're going to get little wood-boring beetles. And so 2 or 3 seasons would be great. If you treat it with something like linseed oil, you may get a few more years out of it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at some of the plants. We can't not talk about plants with you.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
One of the showstoppers here. Let's look at this pink flower here.
This
Can you
bright
tell us a little
pink
bit
thing
about it?
here that all the little skipper butterflies are all over. This is a globe amaranth. It's a new one called Truffula Pink, and it doesn't make seeds.
Okay.
You know, some people like having a lot of plants that reseed every year. This one does not, so it's very well behaved. And then we've got some red phosphor vein. These are one of our specialties. We breed these here at the nursery. We have some selections that we've made.
And they continue to bloom up this spike all season, right?
Absolutely, and the butterflies and hummingbirds absolutely love them.
Yeah, well, I want to know about this guy. Is this a milkweed back here?
Very good. That is a giant milkweed, yes. It's not winter hardy, but we love the foliage, very dramatic, and then those huge lavender purple colored flowers are really something special in the garden.
Definitely. Well, I love, again, you've got such an explosion of color here, and you've oriented everything so nicely. Any hints as to what you're going to do next year?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it and see what we can come up with. We always want something new, so people will want to come and see us every year.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us join you, Steve.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.